police and murder detectives have struggled to solve the Zodiac Killer case for 50 years. Between 1968 and 1969, the serial murderer killed 5 people in and around the U.S. city of San Francisco, California. The anonymous killer then wrote cipher messages to the people and demanded to publish them in local newspapers to insult law enforcement and for attention from the American people. In October 2021, a group of more than 40 former police investigators, journalists, and military intelligence officials known as Casebreakers contended that Gary Francis Poste is the Zodiac Killer, despite the police's claim that Poste is not their man. But who was this man, and how could codebreakers make Poste responsible for all the murders? Poste was raised in the western U.S. state of California. He was a former airman of the U.S. Air Force who passed away in August 2018 at the age of 80. According to local media accounts, Poste had a violent past. The theory that Poste is the Zodiac Killer began when a man named Will claimed he was in a group led by Poste. Will contacted Californian police and said that Poste was the leader of a group and used to train people to become killing machines near the High Sierra mountain range in California. The individuals in their late teens and early 20s were called the Posse. Will followed up the assertions and said in a statement that Poste had given out weapons to friends and family in the days before he died, including pistol components, gunpowder, and shell casings, and many of these odd gifts have been kept in basements and closets, untouched ever since. But no one was ready to listen to his claims. Years of trying to persuade authorities that Poste was the murderer went in vain. Nobody appeared to care. That is, until he met California news anchor Dale Julin. After hearing about Will's account, Dale informed the Casebreakers about it. Casebreakers were waiting for someone who could claim and call someone the Zodiac Killer with proof, and Will proved himself the man the team wanted. Casebreakers organization's intelligence expert Eric Kleinsmith states that a witness spotted a device in Poste's home that could create a postal stamp so that no one could trace his whereabouts. The police found marks of Air Force wing walker boots at the crime scene where Lake Berryessa was murdered, like the ones Poste had, as he served in the Air Force as a radar technician. Moreover, Poste's 1959 car accident scars resemble the markings on the man's face in the police composite sketch. In 1970, police didn't receive any cipher message, and there was no case of serial killing. The Zodiac Killer stopped killing after those 5 murders, and this was around the time when Poste got married. When even so much evidence fell short, the founder of Casebreaker, Thomas J. Colbert, presented 6 eyewitnesses to the police who allegedly said that Poste told them he was the Zodiac Killer. But the Casebreakers' claims would have been strengthened in front of the police if they could break the cipher messages that were published in the newspaper. Finally, a high school teacher and his wife broke the first cipher message with their intelligence. But after this, it seemed impossible to crack more messages. For the next 50 years, big, wise people kept trying to break the rest of the cipher messages. And in 2020, a cipher message was broken. Dale was allegedly informed that the solution to deciphering the code is hidden in Poste's full name. He spoke to Casebreakers about this, and within no time, the most intriguing message of the Zodiac Killer was cracked. When Kleinsmith was interviewed about this, he said that the team wanted to collect more evidence besides this, but due to lack of legal permission, they could not proceed with the work. It is a matter to think that even when so much evidence was found against Poste, why were the police not bringing him under suspicion? The only answer to this question was that the police did not find Poste's DNA at any crime scene. Poste got away unscathed from the Zodiac Killer case, but came under the police eye again in a domestic abuse case. The Casebreakers are also interested in finding a link between Poste and the Zodiac in relation to the murder of Cherry Jo Bates. Many have been speculating that Bates was one of Zodiac's earliest victims. On October 31st, 1966, she was discovered dead from a stabbing in Riverside, California. A paint-splattered watch and a footprint made by a military-style boot were spotted 10 feet away from the body. Bates is believed to have struggled with her attacker, grabbing their skin and hair with her fingernails. There were also palm prints and fingerprints inside her car that weren't hers or any of her friends or family. Subsequently, the police, the media, and Bates's father all received letters bragging about the crime. These anonymous letters asked everyone to investigate any similarities between the Zodiac murders and the Bates case. Sherwood Morrill, a handwriting expert, found the letter to Bates's father matched the Zodiac's writings. In a letter to the Los Angeles Times from 1971, the Zodiac Killer even named Bates as one of his victims. The FBI officially declares Bates a victim of the Zodiac Killer. Poste was no longer an Air Force soldier at the time of the murder, but he continued to get checkups and medical care at the hospital in March Air Force Base. The distance from the base to Riverside City College, where Bates's body was discovered, is only 10 miles. Poste also worked as a house painter for 40 years. Poste being a painter and finding a paint-splattered watch near Bates's body can't be just a coincidence. If you ask my opinion, I would say that Poste was the Zodiac Killer. The work which has been done in 50 years could have been done in a concise time. I mean, the police had the sketch, and the victims who survived also said on seeing Poste that he was the one who attacked them. I would also like to ask you what you think is the reason why the police department has not declared Poste as the Zodiac Killer.